Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to do some blending with water-based markers. Yesterday I showed you how to do some with, your Copics or your alcohol-based markers, and today I'm going to show you just with regular watercolor markers. And you can use any brand whatsoever. You could use, kids markers, you could use stamping markers, it doesn't really matter. You are going to need a blending marker though, or a damp paintbrush. I really recommend a blending marker. All different companies make them. They're basically just a clear watercolor marker. So instead of having coloring in here, it's just like water plus a little glycerin. And you can make your own. Obviously, if you have an old marker that's all run out, you can make your own. And I've got a few markers here. And what I'm going to do is scribble them onto, what this is just like a piece of, like a plastic baggie that some stamps came in. I put a piece of white cardstock in there just so I could see my colors. And I'm going to make a palette. And so first I'm going to put in some bright green and some light green. You can hardly see that. In fact, I'll probably use this light green marker kind of as a, I could even use that as a blending marker. Some light pink, put some bright pink. We could put a couple shades of, this is kind of like a yellowy brown, some darker brown, and all these different brands will play nice together. You could use your kids' Crayolas, you could use whatever you have really. I got some gray here and some blue. Alright, so I've made a little palette. Now the light pink is the only thing we really can't see very well, but that's alright. And then I'm going to set these markers just out of the way a little bit, and we're going to use, I got a stamped image here, I haven't colored yet, and we're going to use a blender pen to pick up the colors to color our image with. So what I'm going to do is actually zoom in a little bit, because I want you to be able to see my coloring, and if you can't see my palette, I'll just kind of explain what I'm picking up, I think, because I really want you to be able to really see what I'm coloring. Maybe I can go back a little bit, and then you can see that a little bit. Okay. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is the puppy, and I actually find I have a little bit better control working on the larger edge, and I'm just going to scribble it to make sure it's clean. That's how you clean off between colors, just scribble your marker. And I'm going to grab kind of a mix of this brown and that yellow. Mix them here together, and then I'm going to go in the darkest area of the puppy, which is kind of this leg back here, and I'm going to color it in, and as I keep coloring, the marker's going to get lighter and lighter. You don't want to work the paper too much, or you'll get lines, or you'll pill up the paper. When you need a little bit more dark for a shadow, just pick up a little bit off your palette. It helps control the amount of ink that you get, and you get a nice soft blend and no streaks. Under the ear, I want to have a little bit more color, maybe under down near the jaw. And I'm just going to kind of, you want to keep working next to the edge you just picked up color from, because that's going to keep your blending edges soft. I feel like I need a little more yellow on the face. There we go. Sometimes this marker, I do notice the aqua markers tend to pill up a little bit on the marker. I really like the Stampin' Up! Ones too, but I thought I'd try this because I hadn't really used it too much. But you can see it still works pretty well. And just don't want to overwork it. You can't keep blending over and over and over like you do with the alcohol markers, but that's awfully cute. And you can do it with any water-based marker, which I really like, and they tend to be a little more affordable than your alcohol markers. They're like $1 something, or up to $2 usually at the craft store. You can buy them individually or in packs, and they all work pretty well. Or you can get the Crayolas work too. Alright, I forgot that hand back there. We have a snow day today. We are expecting 10 to 18 inches, but I really don't think we're going to get that much because it's very sleety. So I'm glad they called school off, because then all the kids can stay home and nobody has to worry about sending their little ones out. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to switch to the smaller end, so I'm scribbling off my marker to clean it. I'm going to switch to the smaller marker to do the little teddy bear here on the floor. This is from that same stamp set I used yesterday for my alcohol marker demonstration. It was from a issue of Card Making and Papercraft, which is that British magazine that offers the freebies with their issues, and I was waiting in line at Joann's to buy something to pay for my order, and I couldn't resist it. It was so cute. It was a $10 magazine, but I figured the stamps are at least worth $10. Now, a little detail like the scarf on that bear, I'm actually going to go in with my marker and just sketch that in. Now, see, I can go kind of right next to something I just colored with the water-based markers, and it doesn't seem to blend or bleed like it would if I was going to do that with alcohol. Get the little nose there and little paw pads. And look, I can pick up the bright pink with my light pink marker and kind of make them a little bit darker too if I want. And maybe I'll add a little bit of brown to that nose. There we go, it looks a little more natural. Then to clean that marker, I'll just scribble it out until it runs pink again. Alright, so just remember to do that if you have to grab a weird color, and you'll be fine. Alright, for the table, I think I'll do the table with shades of gray, and I've got my gray there on my palette already, so I'm going to take my blending marker, and I'm going to pick up quite a bit of that, and I'm just going to go in and do my shadows first. I'll go underneath the edge of the table there, and maybe just kind of underneath the edge of the plate, and then I'm just going to start coloring the rest, and it'll just kind of blend out, and that's very easy. Alright, and then for the, let me scribble that out to clean it. I'll do the little cupcake stand. I'm going to go switch to the fine end of my brush because it is tiny. These blender pens really make it easy. That little thing in there, little stand, and I can blend it over and keep that kind of highlight in the center. I'm going to use shades of green for the little cupcake wrappers. I'll put in my shadows first, and if I work quickly then I can go in with the lighter colors. You get a feel for how long the ink will stay wet and how quickly you have to get around there. Alright, and do some of the pinks. Little toppers. And I could even use a light pink marker to pick up some of the darker colors and do it that way too. It's completely up to you, whatever you feel like doing. You don't seem to need as many colors when you're doing this with the watercolor markers as you do when you're doing it with the alcohol markers for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I think I can see little bits of the cake there, so I'm going to put some brown in there. Or some vanilla color. Make it a little more interesting, I think. Maybe put like a little chocolate on top of that one. And let's see. Anytime you hear that squeaky noise, that's when I'm just kind of rinsing off my, or wiping off my marker there. Alright, and that little cherry on one of those cupcakes, I'm just going to do that with that bright neon pink. These are the aqua markers from Letraset. The same people that make Pro Marker, they make, this is just their water-based version. Alright, so for the shadow underneath, this is so easy, you're not gonna believe how easy this is. So much easier than doing it with alcohol markers. I'm turning it around on its side because it's easier for me to get at it. I'm gonna get the color on the tip, and I'm just gonna go in underneath the area where I want the shadow, and then I'm just gonna blend it out. That's all there is to it. And I can really fade it out. I can just kind of go out to nothing. I can add a little bit more if I want to. I hope you can hear me all right. I feel like I'm just kind of mumbling today. Sorry about that. And really, that's all there is to it. So that is blending with your watercolor markers. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you give it a try. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. Don't forget to just grab a little envelope, a little plastic baggie or something that you can use as a palette. You could use a stamp mount even. You know, set it on a piece of white paper so you can see it. But that's all there is to it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video, and that way you won't miss any other ones. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting.